Good morning. I'm calling to order this hearing. This is a public oversight hearing of the Committee on Aging and Community Affairs. I'm Council Member Yvette Alexander. I represent Ward 7, and I'm also the chair of this committee. And next, Ron Swanda.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to summarize my statement and have it included in the record of the hearing, if that's possible. I'm here strictly on my own. I've been working with many aging service providers and talking to as many elderly and senior people as I can in the district. I've been attending a lot of events. So unlike the people at the table here, I am not an aging professional. However, I am aging, and I have talked to a lot of aging people. And I can tell you for sure that the services offered by these fine people here and others in the room today are highly valued by the district residents. It is not adequately reflected in the budget that the Office on Aging is the smallest of any city organization. I can tell you that the elders in this city do not deserve to have the smallest budget of any agency. And I think the aging people in the District of Columbia, not only they are supported by literally thousands of volunteers. Every organization that you see here and the ones also in the room have lots of volunteers. Some, a major agency may have 500 volunteers on their list, hundreds. That's pretty unusual for any city government agency to have that sort of support from the city's residents, and some of the agencies rely on private grants as well. That also indicates to you the importance of what's going on. I challenge other city agencies to show you the degree of public grants that our service providers have to have. The number of seniors in the District of Columbia is undoubtedly increasing. The percent of the population that is older is increasing. I've presented you some numbers today. And finally, I want to say that it's so important that this committee provide leadership so that the Office on Aging can exert its leadership into the future. These are awfully important issues, and we cannot continue to slight the elders in the District of Columbia.
Thank you, Mr. Swanda. I would encourage you to read some of your testimony for all the viewing public and the people who are here to understand, a little bit about your background. Please do.
My background?
Yes.
All right. I worked in the District of Columbia for 30 years. I worked for a trade association as government relations. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology and MBA, and I think I have also participated in nonprofit boards for many years as a volunteer, so I understand volunteer organizations. I understand nonprofit boards. I have formed 2 nonprofit associations myself that are still continuing in national organizations, and so I feel like I have something to contribute, and that's what I want to do to the senior community.
Would you say you are the typical senior in the District of Columbia?
I'm not sure I can answer that question. I haven't met them all. But let's just say
I'm interested to know, because people need to know who our seniors are in the District of Columbia, and I think the perception may need to be changed, because seniors are, they have changed from what seniors were even 10 years ago. So what is your view of today's average senior in the District of Columbia?
I certainly think that it is changing, as has been said in previous testimony. In my mind, the whole country needs to get over its ageism and look at someone who is retired, so to speak, as an asset. And a lot of people are doing just as I'm doing. When they retire from what they had to do to feed their face, so to speak, they now are able to do what they want to do through volunteerism. And I think that is more likely to characterize today's aged person than it is the. Now, we certainly have the frail and the elderly that cannot do that, and that's why I'm fortunate enough that my health is good, and I have a background that allows me to be able to speak to people like you without getting too nervous anyway. But I'm not sure that necessarily characterizes every elderly person, nor should it. I'm happy to find out about them and be the conduit to express their needs.
And you mentioned, thank you, you mentioned the U.S. Census, and that's going to be so important for our seniors to be counted. And that's going to depend a lot on the resources that we get. So what can we do to make sure our senior population is counted?
Well, I think the city is doing a pretty good job of advertising that importance. If someone is living in a group house or other facility where people congregate, the city can do a very good job of making sure that they fill out this very short census form. However, it's been mentioned that the Office on Aging is preparing a state plan. As part of that, they are trying to survey for needs. It's always hard to do a survey for needs, so I would encourage all seniors in the District of Columbia to go on the Office of Aging website or contact one of their service providers, get a copy of that survey, and fill it out, because that is the most immediate way for us to communicate the needs of seniors.
And you mentioned something really important about seniors going on the website.
Yes.
There are a lot of seniors who still are not internet savvy, so they're not going to go on the computer. So we're really tasked with reaching the seniors, maybe door to door or by mail, television, phone calls, because the internet is not going to be the way. I mean, persons like you, yeah, but a lot of seniors, and some seniors who are well versed, educated, and who are living out there on their own independently, still will not get on the internet.
I can say the Office on Aging can provide it in paper, and it be entered in the same way. I might also add that I am personally trying to visit as many senior facilities as I can, especially if they have lunch programs, and take that survey out there and get them to fill it out on the spot. And I think there are other people doing the same sort of work. The congregations, the church congregations in town is another way of reaching out. I've tried to do some of that, and other people are too. So that is an extremely important survey, and I hope everyone who's here and anyone who's listening on television will pay good attention to it.
And lastly, well, you mentioned that we must increase the number of seniors who are able to retire in their homes. Do you think that that is becoming a smaller number, and if so, why?
No, I think it could become a larger number. I'm not sure I have the final numbers in, but the village networks, which are springing up in this city and around the country, are probably one of the best solutions to our long-term care. If someone wants to, most seniors would like to stay at home, but for some reason they may not be able to take care of themselves at home. And so to have volunteers in our community go to those people and help them change light bulbs, do the dishes, and just be a friend is an important way for us to serve seniors that is fairly low cost to the city. And when the budget hearing comes, I hope you'll consider at least giving some seed money to the villages so that we can, that is probably the best way for us to accommodate the growth in our senior population.
And I'm excited about that, and I know Dr. Brown will talk about that. I believe we have 4 of the villages, and they were able to obtain grants for that service, so hopefully we'll grow with that. What I'm hearing from a lot of seniors, and I know we have retirement homes in Maryland and Virginia, different complexes where they can get all their amenities, not necessarily a senior home, a senior facility, but what we need in the District of Columbia, what I'm hearing, people would like a retirement community, that they would like to be among their peers and to be able to go to the cleaners, the hair salon, everything there. And that's something I don't see in the district. I see it in, Maryland and in Virginia, and that's where our seniors sometimes are moving. I was upset that some of my neighbors, married couples, have moved out of Ward 7, and they've gone to Maryland to these retirement communities. Not necessarily a senior home, but that's what we really need to focus on. People don't want to mow their lawn or take care of a large home, but they still want a nice place to live and be independent. So that's what I would like to see in the District of Columbia.
I think we do have some of those facilities. We probably don't have enough. One of them is Thomas Circle, which has a variety of services from totally independent living all the way up to nursing home care in the same facility located near Thomas Circle. So I think that's a good example of a private facility that's not a government facility at all.
Right.
So people have to have enough money to be able to live there, but I think it is often the first choice of many retirees.
I would like to see more of those throughout the city.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you. Thank you all for your testimony.
Thank you.